And I'm Redmond. And let's talk about Struts. Struts was a line of fashion horses made by Playmate Toys in 2008. You know, Playmate Toys, the same company that's made Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Star Trek, and Godzilla action figures. And you really couldn't get much different than that. I mean, they're all anthropomorphic, like, animals. Well, not Star Trek. I mean, some of them are anthropomorphic animals of them. Okay, but let's address the elephant in the room. I mean, the weird anthropomorphic horses in the room. She's right behind us, isn't she? Okay, we're just joking. If they were actually behind us, we'd be snatching them up really fast because they're extremely hard to find and have little to no online presence. If you look them up online, you'll find a lot of blogs from 2008 calling them things like sluts instead of struts, whores instead of horses, and the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Basically, everyone just comes up with all kinds of insults for these horses. For me personally, I think they slay. I mean, slay? I mean, nay? But, I don't know, we can't ignore the kind of questionable what the fuck undertones they do have. Yeah. As you can see, they're just yassified horses who are aware of capitalism and trends, and you know, just want to be fashionable. They come with shirts, skirts, jewelry, and little handbags, and the little handbags get me because how are they supposed to use them? Oh yeah, and they come wearing high heels, which when I was looking them up online, this seems to be the #1 thing that creeps people out the most about these horses, is that they're wearing high heels. But I was looking at their feet and I was like, yeah, I guess it's creepy they're wearing high heels. But then I was really looking and they don't have hooves. Like, they just have like fleshy stub feet and like there's no line to indicate like where their hoof begins because they don't have one. They just have stubby flesh feet. Like, that's the part that creeps me out. Like, but I also feel like that's a missed opportunity because like I feel like they could sell the horses with like toenail polish so you can like paint the toenails. If I was on like the marketing team for these horses, I'd be like, guys, we need to include nail polish so you can paint these horses' nails. But they don't have nails or hooves, like they don't, and that's just weird. That's weird. But like we said, these struts have little to no online presence, so we couldn't even grab any information about them like off of a fan wiki or anything. Like, we purely have to go off of the little information we found of them online, like pictures of the boxes from old Reddit posts, blogs, and a lot of hearsay. I mean, nay! I cannot nay, I'm sorry. Stupid jokes, we suck. But based off of what we can gather, we know at least one official line came out before they were completely discontinued, and that line was called Step Into Fashion, Runway Magic. They also came out with 1 playset and came out with 2 lonely fashion facts. I saw someone on Reddit saying there was 2 official lines released, but we literally could not find evidence of a second line ever existing. Alright, here's how they're described on the only back of box photo I could find anywhere online. Literally no one takes photos of the back of their boxes, so here's how that one box describes them. Fashion's back, and it's got a new name, Struts. From the 4 corners of the world come glamorous new models with style, sass, and attitude to spare. So they're horse models who come from the 4 corners of the world. You may be wondering, where exactly are they from? Well, we kind of know that, but first, here are the main 5 ponies' names and their personalities.
Struts! New Struts fashion horses, oh so glam and kickin' with fashionality. When it comes to style and tude, these style trotters pony up. Rio, total genius. Sydney, she's so silly. Milan, the artist. Sierra, she loves sports. Struts! Style changeable, so collectible. Fashion approved. Style and horses you'll remember. Struts! Struts fashion horses and accessory packs each sold separate.
So if you didn't catch that, their names are Sierra, Rio, Milan, and Sydney. Sierra apparently likes sports and is possibly from Paris based on Hear Nay from Reddit. Rio is a total genius, and Sydney is so silly. And Milan is the only pony we could find a back of box photo for, which luckily details her personality more in detail, so here it is. Milan is from Italy, her fashionality is creative, her fave color is purple, her birthday is May 6th, her hobbies include cooking, painting, and visiting museums, her special skills are plays the piano, her favorite food is lasagna, and her biggest fear is the dark. Picturing a horse eating lasagna is so cursed to me. Yeah. And also, how does she paint? Right. How does she, like, cook? Like, how? Like, I have so many questions. Anyway, according to Milan's box, she's from Milan, Italy, and her name's Milan, so I'm guessing the other horse girls are named after places they were born too, so that would make Sydney from Australia, Rio from Brazil, and Sierra from Paris, but that doesn't make sense because the box advertises they're from all 4 corners of the world, and if she was from Paris, that would only make 3 corners of the world. So we're guessing she's actually from Mexico because we looked up a few articles about like the origin of the name Sierra, and it is of Spanish like descent, so we're guessing she's from Mexico because there is like a mountain range in Mexico that is named the Sierra Mountains. So that's our evidence for this. This is completely guessing because there's no official information out on these horses. Yes. And I wish you could have saw us last night. We were writing the script. We were having a whole ass argument, looking at pictures of maps. Like, no, she can't be from Paris. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Listen, hear me out.
Hold on, hold on. Her sister was a witch, right? And what was her sister? A princess.
Feel free to trot down to the comments and tell us if we're wrong because we really don't know. We were really guessing. Based on the same Reddit post we mentioned earlier, the box advertises that they come with a headshot which is personally autographed by them and that they came with an ink stamp. The ink stamp is interesting to me because in the ad they show a little girl stamping their high heel into the ink stamp and then making a high heel print on a piece of paper. So this further proves they don't have hooves, right? Because you can't stamp their hoof into the ink and make create like that stereotypical hoof pattern, like because they don't have hooves. Again, like they don't. And I think honestly, I think they did this because they needed a reason to give the horses high heels, so they gave them like deformed feet, right? Because they're like, we can't just put horses in high heels, they need to have them. And they have them because they can't walk on regular ground because they don't have hooves. Like their stubby feet need protection, and that's why they need to wear heels specifically. No sneakers, only heels. This ad is more evidence that they don't have hooves. I mean, these pictures are blurry, but if you zoom in, there's literally no evidence they have hooves, and this bothers me so much. But back to their headshots, how do they sign them? Like, wouldn't it just be the heel stamp on the headshot? Like, if they can canonically write English sentences, like, why do they need the heel stamp feature? Because say they wanted to sign something, can't they just stamp it with their hoofs? Right. Do they put a pen in their mouth and write with it? Like, do they have an assistant? Are there humans in this world that help them out? Because they're models, right? They have a runway playset. They need to sign headshots, apparently. Right. Like, they're famous, I'm assuming. Well, imagine competing against a whole horse for a job in the fashion industry. Oh, welcome to the casting room. Make yourself at home. Thank you. All right. Can you show me your walk? Do a little walk for me? Okay. All right, thank you. How's that? I don't know. It's not working. Can you do it again? Oh, yeah, totally. Thank you, but like, I don't know, something's not right. Can you like, put like hair extensions in for like your hair? Yeah, I can totally put in longer hair for the day of the runway. I have a few extensions at home. Okay, you can like do that, but there's still something missing. I'm sorry? Your eyelashes just don't seem long enough. Oh, well, I could bring some in too, the day of the runway. Okay, you can do that, but there's still something missing. Can you redo your walk for me? Oh, okay. But on all fours. What did you just say? Oh my god, she's perfect! What? I did find this Instagram post made by Garrett Sanders, the creator of Monster High. In 2020, he took a photo of his Struts horse Rio and expressed his opinions on the line. He said, "I don't remember all the flack this line seemed to get until I went back to look it up for this post. While some people really hated it, I thought it was fun, over the top, and fabulously ridiculous. It's super hard to find stuff for this line. I only have 2 of the girls I found online a while ago, hoping to find the others and the playset that was made." So far, he's the only prominent person to ever talk about this toy line online, anywhere, and I can see why he doesn't have a problem with them, because Monster High give off the same energy as Struts. Yeah, they do. Especially when you consider that Monster High did venture into horses later in their years, with dolls like Avian Trotter and Frightmares. Although Struts was not the first anthropomorphic fashion toy line for kids, they definitely did do a more questionable job when you compare them to their predecessors. We saw some people compare them to Barbie Pose Me Pets, which had a similar concept. Animals in girly fashion. Some of them were even wearing high heels and carrying purses. This works for me and isn't weird because they have a regular shape to them. Besides their clothes, they look like normal dogs and cats. Compared to Barbie Pose Me Pets, the Struts body shapes are intentionally curvy. Like they could have drawn them like this, but instead they drew them like this. You know what I mean? They are kind of sexualized. It's giving like a textbook definition of like, how do I represent a girl in a cartoon? Long eyelashes, pink clothes, and curvy body, please. Like, compared to the Pose Me Pets, like, the Pose Me Pets are giving, like, cute kids in silly outfits, and the Struts are giving, like, adult models on the runway. So I can kind of see how parents had a problem with them, like, in that way, but all of the name-calling just feels so unwarranted and a little bit, like, misogynistic. Like, it's giving, like, when Bratz came out, like, people, they were met with the same type of hate. Like, it's, because like, as soon as someone sees a girl with long eyelashes and knows how to dress in a cute outfit, everyone's like, slut, slut! Like, what? Just look at these atrocious comments from 2008 and 2009. Like, icky. Oh, gross. Under Garrett Sanders' post, I saw one commenter compare them to Fashion Star fillies, which were a line of fashion horses from the 80s with a similar concept. They came with clothing, but prioritized hair play, and you could actually paint on their hooves. Like, they had hooves and you could paint them. Like, they did what Struts could have done, like, should have done. Like, to me, Fashion Star fillies aren't as weird because they have, like, realistic designs. Like, they look like realistic horses. Like, we have some Breyer horses here, and if you slap some, like, clothing on them, like a dress or even heels, like, you wouldn't think they're sexualized because the horse designs themselves are normal. Like, you just think that's a horse in a silly outfit. Yeah, and not, like, that's a model, that's an adult, like, what the hell's going on there? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and deny that the horses are slightly sexualized, but to me, it's not that deep, and they're just silly and fun. Yeah. But also, it is kind of that deep because the designers were probably men that just sexualized girl horses for some reason. I feel like it's not even them sexualizing horses, it's them like sexualizing young girls, and they're like, young girls like short skirts, they like pink purses and nails and high heels, they're materialistic. Like, it's just weird. It's a little weird, like, we can't deny that. I can't deny it's weird, but I'm gonna defend them because they slay. Yeah. I mean, they. Honestly, to me, they're like an extra yassified Bratz horse. I thought Bratz horses were already very yassified, but when I saw a picture of one of these Struts doll horses, I was like, that is a Bratz horse on steroids. Bratz horses don't have eyebrows and Struts do, and Bratz horses actually came with normal horse accessories. They just had long eyelashes to match their human counterparts. Struts horses look like they consumed their human counterparts and became them. Speaking of human counterparts, Sydney literally looks like Nicole from our High Glam Dolls video. They have the same pink clothing and heart motifs. Nicole's also
so silly
because she wants to meet her Prince Charming one day when there's literally no male High Glam Dolls existing in the High Glam universe. Maybe somewhere out there, there's a lone Struts human doll. Because who's making their clothes? Literally, there's gotta be a human here. Who's like signing their autographs? Who's making their clothes? There's gotta be a lone human somewhere. Who's paying their bills? Like, maybe they can transform into humans. Maybe they know magic. I feel like this brand could have expanded in many different directions. It could have. And I feel like there's definitely humans in this universe. It's like show horses, but just like really extra. Show horses, but instead of showing them like on like a track, it's a runway. I can see that, honestly. Long story short, if you've watched this entire video and thought for 1 second, sign me up, I kind of want one, unfortunately, we regret to inform you that these horses are insanely hard to find online. We said that a few times in this video, but you don't understand how insanely hard to find they are. We only found one sold listing of a fashion pack on eBay. There's no sold or active listings of any of these horses anywhere that we could find. So if you see one out in the wild, out trotting around, pick it up, please. Because no matter how strangely the cashier looks at you when you're buying this anthropomorphic horse, buy it. Because we literally can't even tell you the price range or like the exact amount they go for online, and I'm not signing up for a Worth Point account to find out. Like, sorry, that's where we draw the line. We can make a whole video about anthropomorphic horses, but I'm drawing the line at making a Worth Point account to look at the price of an anthropomorphic horse. If you're curious, feel free to sign up and let us know down in the comments how much these are worth. Otherwise, it's a mystery to us. We really do that though. But anyways, We're sorry. If you like us, make sure to check out our Patreon. We're launching a Patreon today. Yeah. It's live. It's linked in our description. Check it out. If you want to see behind the scenes videos, if you want to see bloopers, if you want to see exclusive videos, exclusive to Patreon, an hour-long video that got removed from YouTube, it's on there, and a YouTube video back from our LPS days that had 700,000 views but is now blocked in all countries. You can find on our Patreon now. So it's we only have one tier. It's a $3 tier, and it's called the Dream Team. Maybe you can vote on a new name or a better name if you sign up for a Patreon. And also, if you liked these bio horses we showed you earlier in the video, we're actually selling them on our Mercari to make some extra money. And just remember, to dream is to expand your imagination and to create a reality. Anything's possible and things don't have to make sense. See you in our next video.